Hey, what's up everybody? I am joining you here today to tell you about my latest game, Dungeon Deli. This is a project that I made for the Bigmode game jam. It's a game jam hosted by Video Game Donkey, one of my favorite YouTubers, and his publishing company. Unfortunately, I did not get my game played on the stream, but it's okay. We still love you, Donkey. 19-day game jam. Theme is mode. And I made it with my friends Bampiku, Theo, Prism, and Ragchomp. A couple of them I've worked on games with before, a couple of them it was the first time. And overall, a pretty good experience. I'll play the game a little bit to show it off, and we can talk about the development a bit too. I'll be quiet for the cutscene though, because it is the best part of the game. What a wonderful place for a picnic. It's so peaceful out here. I really outdid myself with this sandwich. Oh lordy, I can't wait to take a bite. Yup, so we gotta go get our sandwich back. Have a nice picnic. And then yeah, pretty simple mechanics. Every step is a turn. It's meant to be somewhat like something like a mystery dungeon game. Yeah, controls you just walk around and that's it. Or you can pass your turn as well. Music's a little bit loud. Sorry. Yeah, so the idea is you need to find the stairs and try and get there, you know, try and get to the bottom of the dungeon without dying. It's not like procedural or anything like that, like you see in a mystery dungeon game. There are 5 handcrafted levels. This one is meant to be easy enough that it's really hard to mess it up. You can see if I am standing next to an enemy at the end of my turn, then that means I take a hit. Although they can't cut corners, so you can kite them pretty well around objects like this. Yep, and the monsters get 1 action per turn. They either get to walk or attack, so you definitely can kite them. Yeah, and then when you get to the chest, find a piece of your sandwich, and beat the level. We have this goal steps feature for each level. This is actually something I added post-jam. But yeah, I wanted there to be a challenge for people. I feel like it's pretty easy to get through the game if you just take it really slow, so I wanted there to be an incentive to not cheese it by just going insanely slow. Now that we're on level 2, the UI over here has changed a little bit. It was just showing normal mode the whole time before, but now you can see we've unlocked this modes feature where I can see in X amount of turns, we switch to a different mode, whatever that means. And then of course this cooldowns thing, our powers, this is just telling you when it's going to shoot in which direction. Yeah, let's see some of these other modes. We've got the slippery mode, which makes all entities slide until they hit a collidable. And all the modes are neutral effects, in the sense that they affect both parties. Although the idea is, if you're, strategizing properly, then they'll practically all be positive effects, because, if you use them to your advantage. And that's why we wanted you to be able to see what your next mode is going to be ahead of time too, because you're sort of strategizing like, oh, in 3 turns I'm going to be in this mode. Let me set myself up in a good situation for being in that mode. So that was the general idea. So yeah, I think we integrated the theme pretty nicely. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the game, just overall in general. I mean, there's definitely some valid criticism. I mean, the game didn't score insanely well in the judging. Or like I posted on Newgrounds too, it didn't score insanely well there either. I think like it's at like a little bit over 3.5 out of 5. The major complaints are just how slow it is. Because, there's a lot of waiting involved, especially like when you're walking these long stretches and you gotta wait for it to shoot every turn. And you gotta wait for the monsters to take their turns. The other big complaint aside from that is just, I think more of a presentational thing where it's like there's confusion. There's confusion around, like, I guess the UI in the bottom left isn't the most engaging thing, so people don't pay a lot of attention to it and feel like they don't understand why modes are switching and why they're shooting which direction, etc. Which, you know, I can agree with that too. I wish that we would have had more time to put some more visual, well, and audio, just more presentational pizzazz, especially in terms of the mode switching. Like, it'd be kind of nice if even if there was just like a big thing on screen that like big text on screen for when the mode switches, so it feels like a bigger deal. Or if like the music swapped. One thing that we had planned was that we were going to swap different variants of the music out programmatically based off of which mode you were in. But didn't have time for that one either. Another post-jam thing that I did is add achievements. Oh, I see. I already had some of these unlocked from my last play session. Yeah, these are fairly simple though. And I guess that sort of segues into, in terms of the development of this game, this is the first game that I've made where I use my custom engine. All my other games I've made in the past, I programmed them with TypeScript from scratch, like total custom stuff, no engine. But I was just copying and pasting all my stuff between projects. I didn't have like a standard game library or anything. Like, all my games had the same physics, same rendering, same tile map, everything, copy pasted it across. So it's really nice now that I have this, I'm using same sort of tech, same sort of stuff I've been using. It's TypeScript, open source engine. It's on my GitHub. It's called Pixel Pigeon game engine, kind of silly. Level 3, look at that. Yeah, but I made this game engine very like specifically tailored to the types of games that I'm trying to make, particularly like game jam games. Well, I mean, first of all, it's meant primarily for very like low spec, pixel perfect games. Like, all the physics and such are pixel perfect, and therefore may not be the most efficient. But, you know, who cares? This game is really low res. But it's also not, another reason I say it's like really tailored to my specific needs is that I have a lot of generic things in the engine that aren't the types of things you'd expect to be in a general purpose engine, but gives me a lot of shortcuts in terms of like what my goals are, which is just releasing, you know, pretty small free web games. Like, for example, this pause menu is stock. I didn't have to write any code for this. It's just an engine. Same with all these controls, like these settings, and the achievement system even, all stock. And it may not be the prettiest thing, and maybe if I was making a large game, I'd want to put in the effort to make some of this stuff custom, but for something like a game jam or just like a free game that I'm just putting on my itch and my Newgrounds and stuff, I love it, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to actually ship something with this engine. Just get that out of the way, because yeah, I plan on making more games with it, and it's nice to have an example project that, well, there was definitely a lot of iteration during the jam in terms of the engine. Unfortunately, I did have to spend a lot of my time during the jam working on engine code things, because the engine was so not far along. I only started it like less than a year ago. But I guess the upside to that is that, well, who cares how badly I do in the game jam? At least I'm coming out of this game jam with more work on my engine. Although I don't feel that bad about it at all. I'm pretty happy with how this jam went, even though maybe I didn't make the most fun game in the world. I mean, because the way that I look at game jams, or like, I guess the satisfaction that I gain from doing game jams, it's like, sure, I want to make an awesome game, sure, I want to, you know, win, or whatever, but I think what I value a lot more than making something fun, necessarily, is making something unique. Like, I'd be much happier making a game like this that is a little bit clunky and maybe not people's favorite thing, but at least it's exploring an original concept. Like, contrast to that, like, let's say that I just made like a basic Mario clone for the jam, and it was really fun and really well made, but didn't have really anything unique to it. I'd feel a lot worse about making something like that than something like this, I think, so. I'm cool with it. Slippery mode is... Yo, I'm getting... Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. I won't bother playing through all the levels. Oh, wow, I barely got the goal steps. There's, yeah, 2 more levels after this one. I'll just let anybody who wants to play the game themselves check it out. But, yeah, overall, good experience working on this. I am a huge Donkey fan, so I'll probably do his jam again next time. I don't know, though. I'm pretty burnt out, to be honest, on the game jams. Yeah, thanks for taking a look here, and if anybody wants to play it themselves, evanmmo.itch.io. And thank you, and see you next time.